Hello people, it's Jer here. This is my first ever movie review, so please cut me some slack, and if you're going to leave comments, don't use language. I know I'm going to suck on the first one. I'm going to start with Toy Story 3. It's a great place to start. It's probably the only summer movie so far that hasn't disappointed universally. People are saying the A-Team is good, people are saying it's shit. People are saying Iron Man 2 was good, but then there's people that said it was cack. With Toy Story, you don't get that. I think people are universally agree that, hey, this was one fucked up great movie. Brilliant writing, brilliant casting, and for an animation film, surprisingly very, very good direction. I'm going to start with what we saw at the start of the film, which, of course, is not the trailers. It was the Pixar short Night and Day, or Day and Night, whatever you want to call it. This was, if I'm going to be straight, it wasn't Pixar's great. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. There was no meaning behind it. Not saying there should be a meaning, but usually there is with Pixar. It wasn't one of the best. It was entertaining, but you couldn't see the point behind it, if you're going to be honest about the whole thing. Could honestly anyone say what it was all about? Like two creatures, one's there, one... It's stupid, really. Are they trying to say they're two gods, or what, or two planets inside them, or... I digress. We move on then to the main feature, the main event, if you will, Toy Story 3, and we start off with what we usually start off with Toy Story. A scene that's imaginative in Toy Story 1, it was playtime, then in Toy Story 2 it was actually a video game. Here it was playtime again, where Andy had Buzz, Woody, and Jessie fighting the evil Dr. Porkchop, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, killer monkeys. If you didn't see this film yet, I am going to say I'm going to spoil a lot of it, so if you don't, go away. This was actually a good opening. I thought it was the best opening of the three of them. I'll be honest, I thought it was very good, very, not really funny, but very imaginative. Of course, then we cut that it was just all Andy playing with the toys, and the video camera montage was fucking awesome. It really was fucking awesome. Come on, to actually look back like that, and it's like looking back in all childhood. I know people there are saying, I never used to play with you. Bullshit, everybody played with toys. Everyone had the imagination. Everyone thought their teddy bears or Barbies, or even their cowboys or astronauts were fucking real things. And that's what childhood is about. There's so much hatred now about fucking toys like that. Like, you don't see kids running around towns anymore with toys, or even out in their own terrace or play yard. But that's what we all used to do. I know a lot of people are going to be there trying to act the brave man, saying, no, that was me. It was you. Everyone fucking did it in our generation. And if you don't say so, you're a fucking liar. Then we go straight back into the story, where we see that Woody, Rex, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Jessie, Bullseye and Buzz are trying to call Andy, because Andy hasn't played with them in years. Now, this is one story point I really don't get. He's 17 years of age according to the movie. They came to the realization in Toy Story 2 that Andy is going to grow up and not play with them, and they accepted it. Why in the fucking hell are they fighting it? The three army guys had the best thing: let's get the fuck out of there. But then they didn't, and they already ended up in the garbage truck. And then they move on to Sunnyside. I loved Lotso. I really fucking love Lotso. Don't get me wrong, Toy Story 2, the film, was great with the twist. But Lotso, he was brilliant. I actually just love that man so much. He's played by Ned Beatty. I'll be honest, I didn't really hear much about him until now. But I loved that character. I loved how he acted all nice and everything, and then he got darker. You found out his backstory. By the way, his backstory, not as good as Jessie's. I tell you why, because Jessie's one was just so heartbreaking. It really was so heartbreaking. But with Lotso, you kind of got to think that he kind of solved it. If you kind of get my thing, it's that, like, he was the kind of main fella within the three toys. You had him, the baby, and the clown. And you always kind of got the feeling that Lotso was a bit of a prick, because you could hear the clown clearly say that Lotso was her favourite. And yet again, Lotso told two of them, let's go. So I think Lotso was a bit of a prick even back then. His story was good. Not as good as Jesse's though. Jesse's was brilliant in Toy Story 2. Buzz anyway escapes Sunnyside and gets taken home by a young girl, where he stumbles across another bunch of toys and tries to make his way back to Sunnyside, when they tell him that Lotso is an evil motherfucker. Anyone that walks around with a walking stick and has a voice like that, you should kind of put two and two together on a film like that. But I digress. We go back and then he meets the telephone chatty, voiced by Teddy Newton, surprisingly, where he tells him that Lotso is what we knew 10 minutes before was an evil fucker. Then we find out to escape you have to knock out the cameras, avoid the trucks, and take out the monkey. Yes, that is pretty much established, because for around a half a minute, all that chatty telephone says is, take out the monkey, take out the monkey, take out the monkey! And you're sitting down like, yeah, take out the fucking monkey! While all this was going on, Buzz has been set back to demo mode, which I know a couple of people are like, they've done this to death, but I love him as the guy who actually thinks he's a space ranger. I love that persona of Buzz. I think it's not better than what he is now, but it's just so fucking funny. It really is so funny when you hear Buzz talking like that and acting like that. So anyway, Woody gets the rest of the toys together and they hatch a plan to escape. While all this was going on, Barbie decided she liked Ken. Ken decided he liked Barbie. When Barbie saw what was going on, she left Ken, went back with the other toys. Now she's back with Ken, but only the diversion. Like, we couldn't figure that out. But why Barbie kid were having toy sex, I guess, we find out that Buzz and fucking Stink the dog, who did come back in this film, thank God, is taking out the monkey. Why the monkey's been neutralized, Ken is modelling clothes. For some reason, it was like a Calvin Klein ad. When Barbie decided to tie him up to a racket and tear up some clothes, they really get the point behind that. But she gets the info and finds out what was wrong with Buzz. And this leads to the funniest part of the movie. And I'm not talking about Mr. Picklehead, I am talking about Spanish Buzz. Everybody loved this bit, and I'm telling you, how they came up with it, I will never know, but by fuck was that entertaining. For that 5 minutes he was Spanish Buzz, we all laughed our asses off. How Pixar continue to do it, I will never know, but I will continue to enjoy. Buzz and his friends finally escape, but just before they see freedom, Lotso, the evil bear, returns, where they finally have a confrontation, where Woody actually confronts him about his owner. Lotso hits the bottles, and he fucks the baby for actually having an emotion. Lotso then gets fucked into the bin. The toys, through Slinky, get over and think they're free. Until one of them three fucking Aegis from Pizza Planet or Pizza World, or whatever you want to call that place, gets the fucking foot star. You have two of them, leave the other one there. I digress, of course I'm only messing. I love them fuckers. You have saved our lives, we are eternally grateful. Fucking brilliant line. One of them gets caught, Woody goes back to health, in a pretty pissy mood if I may say. Woody, you're the reason they're fucking there. Now, Lotso decides to drag Woody in. Why they all decide to jump in after him, I guess that's the thing about friendship. We're in it to the end. When Ken decides to drag Barbie back, which again I do not understand, because if she was really a friend of all them, why wouldn't she slap him or anything? Was she kind of okay with it? Oh, they're off to their death. I just got you, Ken. Hey! We go then to the dump yard, where I actually have to say it was one of the most emotional scenes I ever saw inside the cinema, and I'm a man, but I kind of cried. when I thought they were all going to die. I actually did. I thought they were going to say, okay, listen, we're going to end the series like this. It got very, very dark, and I was like, hey, this is not beyond them now. How dark it did get at certain points, especially in that scene, when they all just say, okay, listen, we're going to die. They all hold their hands together and get ready for their fate. So, Pixar, with a kids movie, you can never say they were going to do something like that, but when you were seeing the way the movie was going, the way they were trying to wrap everything up, you were like, it's not beyond them. But of course, the three aliens free them, and Lotso gets his comeuppance by getting stuck in the front of a truck. The toys come back to Woody's and get a bit of a hosing off when they go back into the room. Andy and his mother talks about family and all that, and Woody understands that Andy's not his family, the toys are his family. So he gets back into the box with the toys. They go off to Dolly, the girl from earlier. I couldn't remember her name earlier, but now I remember her name, so I'm happy. Where Andy actually explains how much each toy meant to him. Yet again, this is something that a lot of people should actually think about in real life. Think about your favourite toy, game, board game, anything like that. It always means something to you. It really does, and that's why Toy Story 3 connects on so much levels. Thank you for listening, and as I said, this was my first one, so I was probably off cue with a lot of things, but if you're going to be an asshole and just leave stuff there with someone that actually just wants to review movies, then be an asshole and leave a comment there. It won't hurt me, all it takes is a delete. And by the way, fuck off with your spam.